number. All right, Minnesota, Michigan State. Next up here, we've got Michigan State. They were favored. We've seen a change of favorites here. Minnesota now 2.5 3-point road favorites here in this game against Michigan State in East Lansing. 51.5 being the total in this game. A lot of people souring on Michigan. This is some anti-Michigan State sentiment, Conor Mack, in the betting markets after that bad game against the first good team they played this year, Washington. And I think bettors are kind of reacting to what they saw. The defense got ripped apart by Michael Penix Jr., reunited with his old Indiana offensive coordinator, Kalen DeBoer, there in Washington. It was a very good offensive performance. We got bad storms, by the way, in my area right now. So if I get knocked off or the power goes out, you know why. But nevertheless, Michigan State, bad performance last week against Washington, 39-28 loss on the road. Outgained by 138 yards. They'll want to bounce back here at home against Minnesota. But I'll say this right now. Minnesota, 49-7 against Colorado, 62-10 against Western Illinois, 38-0 against New Mexico State. They've looked dominant, but they haven't played anybody. It's the problem. Look, I know people see Minnesota and people have doubts about Michigan State after last week, but at least Michigan State played someone decent last week. And I think Minnesota's a pretty good football team. Don't get me wrong, but we just don't know how good. You can't measure a team how good they are playing frickin', Colorado, who's disarray right now, Western Illinois and New Mexico State. You can't formulate an opinion on a team based on playing those three tomato can opponents. I mean, so that's the problem here, and that's the issue. The key for Michigan State is got to be able to stop the run. This is another team that runs the football way more than they throw it with Tanner Morgan. And the good news for the Spartans, Conor Mack, is the secondary is where they're weakest on defense. They're actually not bad up front against the run. So matchup-wise, they might be able to keep Mohamed Ibrahim in that run game bottled up, force Minnesota to have to throw the ball more. So I don't know. People loving Minnesota here. I haven't seen enough of them to want to lay against good opponents. I haven't seen enough against quality opponents from this Minnesota team. They haven't played anybody good yet to want to lay points with them on the road, even though I get that people are concerned about Michigan State's trajectory after a bad performance against Washington last week. What do you think here, C-Mac? Interesting game in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it is. You mentioned, I think that was just a bad spot. And we were talking about in the back, it's just, you were high on this Washington team, and I needed to see more because how bad they were the last few years. And Penix Jr. was really good. Just not an easy place to go play, especially when they're playing good football, is Washington. I think it's a little bit overreaction. Minnesota hasn't played anybody. We knew they were going to kill Colorado. That was probably the easiest money this weekend for us. They should be able to run a little bit here on Michigan State. I like the under in this game because you talked about that's their best part is Michigan State's defense in this one. One thing I think bettors are seeing, how Michigan State got their ass whipped on the road. Minnesota's been very good playing nobody. Minnesota's been very good against the number on the road. Their last 17, they're 13-3-1. So I think, but now they're as the favorite. I'm not so sure. This is one I want to look really deeper and wait to see if this number moves even more, like you mentioned. But initially, I look to the under in this spot. I think this is too many points. And I kind of lean Michigan State if I could get more than 3 here at home.
Definitely. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, people kind of overreacted about Kenneth. Kenneth Walker was a great running back for